Well, Mayor London Breed announced that a new team of outreach workers will be hitting the streets of San Francisco to respond to the growing homeless crisis. The group is called HEART. It'll be run by the nonprofit Urban Alchemy, which already has a contract with the city. Kirkpatrick Tyler with Urban Alchemy joins us this morning. Good morning, Kirkpatrick. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us about this.
Good morning, Amanda. Thanks for having us. We're excited to be having this conversation.
Absolutely. And I know we've discussed what Urban Alchemy does before, both you and I, and this is just something that needs to keep on going because this crisis persists so strong. So your teams are already patrolling some of the most troubled areas of the city. So you have a front row seat to all of it. So tell us about this new role here.
Yeah, so we're excited. Our practitioners, as you said, have already been on the front lines, have already been engaging and working with some of our most vulnerable neighbors. This year, I think we've already reached around 136 overdose reversals. We've already been able to build some really great relationships, both with our unhoused neighbors as well as the stakeholders and residents in these communities. With the HEART program, which really is an extension of the work that we started, in 2017, 2018, will allow us to create an intervention and a space between law enforcement and our most vulnerable neighbors. And so when there is a 911 call that needs response that is not a violent crime or is not surrounding active drug use, instead of calling 911, our teams will be dispatched. They'll be able to de-escalate any situations. They'll be able to help our most vulnerable neighbors get connected to resources. And so we're just glad to be able to formally add this new component to a service that we've been providing for years now.
Yeah, Kirkpatrick, we're seeing a lot of this when it comes to more mental health related calls to not have police intervention and a different type of source coming in. And that's exactly what you guys are doing. And that's the new effort here in the Bay Area. And so how do you actually train for responding to calls like this? Absolutely.
So our teams have about 40 hours of classroom training. That includes everything from de-escalation to motivational interviewing. We have folks to kind of reenact real life situations. The video that's played over the last couple of weeks, we really walk practitioners through what it means to engage someone that's in crisis. We do a lot of work around what it means to understand when someone is afraid versus when they are angry, understanding what it means to be in a space that's uncomfortable versus unsafe. And then after that 40 hours of classroom training, our teams for the last couple of weeks have been doing 40 hours in the field. This training includes CPR training, overdose reversal training, as well as the use of Narcan, so that we really can be the on-the-ground in the moment intervention for the areas where we serve.
And some of the team members actually have these real life experiences that connect them to the communities they patrol. I find that really interesting. So can you tell us a little bit more about how this makes Urban Alchemy so effective?
Yeah, well, Amanda, as you know, that's really at the core of who Urban Alchemy is, along with the national call to create programs that involve the people most affected by crisis to become a part of the solution. Urban Alchemy primarily recruits, hires, and was built by formerly incarcerated long-term offenders and folks with lived homeless experience. The reason that we believe that we are the best folks to do that work is because our practitioners and our leadership not only were able to pull themselves and do the work to get themselves out of these situations, but we also have a history of helping others. And so now what we've been able to do is take that expertise of our own lived experience and begin to formalize that and help folks to find their own path into sustainable living. We have now been able to show evidence, HEART is an extension of the work that we did in Los Angeles through Circle, but really HEART is about bringing it back home because all of the work that we've done with engagement and with intervention started with our work in the Tenderloin and in the mid-market community. And so really we're glad to see, one, that this call for community-based interventions is going forward. Two, that we have the leadership inside of the city and the supervisor's office and the mayor's office to double down and say we have to do something different. We have to use innovative ideas. And three, that we are now seeing not just the idea, but the results and the data that shows that when we have community-based interventions, that we can move the dial in this crisis.
Absolutely.
And so we're just so thankful to be a part of the work and glad to be glad to have a platform to continue talking about it.
And you're able to expand on giving those solutions to the city. For Patrick Tyler with Urban Alchemy, we thank you for the service you're doing for our city, and thanks for taking the time to talk to us.